Dear government officials, media organizations, friends and family, thank you for accepting our invitation to join us today as your Canadian and Quebecois Armenian communities lament a profound feeling of distress and suffering. How is it possible in the year 2022 we are still witnessing savagery without any justice? How is it possible with all our knowledge, our history, our technology, even being able to watch events live as they unfold? How are we capable of drowning out these frightening images from our mental inbox and leaving them unattended? What has happened to our moral obligations and our empathy towards one another? How is it that our political interests, trade agreements, oil and gas supplies, weapons deals can have more importance than an individual's life? How can the leaders of the human race continue to think that it can act as the almighty judge and can decide that this particular life doesn't matter, or that this one is less worthy than the sale of a drone? Unfortunately, these questions cause me to lose my sense of hope and desire to dream. I continuously see the losses all around me, the betrayal, the manipulation, the indifference, and the actual barbaric violence. It is impossible to describe justly the suffering of the Armenian people. Only in our most recent history, after centuries of retreat and loss of our ancestral lands, even Mount Ararat, becoming the victims of the first modern genocide when millions of lives were brutally ended in unprecedented horror, and whose perpetrators continue to escape justice. The question remains, where are all the great powers of the world? They continue to claw away at us, ripping apart our little country that has survived all these tragedies. The Russians want something, the US wants something, Iran wants something, Turkey wants something, Azerbaijan wants something, France wants something, Israel wants something, England wants something. They want to cut us all up and reap the rewards to fill their own vaults. And what does Armenia want? Peace on our homeland, on our ancestral lands. It deserves peace and borders that are respected. It deserves your voice. It deserves your articles to be written with truth and not with double standards and fictitious two-sided arguments. Its people deserve dignity. One of the oldest nations to mark this earth deserves your backing right now. To our politicians, who are you supporting today, dear Canada, dear America, dear Israel, dear England, dear Germany, dear United Nations, dear Amnesty International? Who are you supporting? When you are silent, you have blood on your hands. When you don't act, you have blood on your hands. Favoring Turkey and Azerbaijan for their oil and military bases and selling them your sophisticated drones has bloodied your names and your conscience. How do you sleep at night? Why at this critical juncture in time don't you raise your voice and utilize your strength? Point your moral compass towards action and support the Armenian people. Our lives matter. Our people matter. As Azerbaijan attacks under the tutelage of Turkey and emboldened by the West, if more of our people die and our nation falls to these wolves, the guilt will fall squarely on your shoulders. The history books will have your names marked black and white. And so will you today, in the most urgent manner, as our country lies on the precipice of capitulating entirely. Now will you change your policies? Will you finally say no to Azerbaijan for killing innocent civilians and beheading female prisoners of war? Will you say no to selling them any more weapons? Will you expel Turkey out of NATO? Will you say no to Azerbaijan's dirty oil? To our media, where are the headlines? Canada chose to do nothing and falsely condemns both sides. How can you confuse victim and perpetrator so deliberately? Your empty words are the green light for Turkey and Azerbaijan to attack more and more violently. You actually opened the door for them to kill. You did it, and nobody else. Will you change the way you speak about us in your articles? Will you even talk about us at all? Will you stop giving our politicians a free pass and press them for the truth instead? Or will you continue to let them cower without any accountability? Each of us has a role to play and to contribute. Doing the right thing takes courage. Your courage is needed now more than ever for us to push our politicians in Canada and in the G7 to truly be leaders in the defense of human rights and move away from being a country that supplies military drone vision technology, but instead to become a country that sees good and evil, that shines light on the injustices of the world for all the world to see. The Armenian people here and around the world need to see the great powers of the West have not totally lost our moral compass, and that we can stand firmly against injustice, that we do represent good, we do represent hope and respect for one another. We have asked you over 1 million times for your help, but we could never make sufficient noise for the wolves lurking behind the curtains to hear us. Today, we urge you to do the right thing, now. Dear friends, we must shake off our numbness. And fight for our country. As any great nation, it takes us to fight our own battle and to not sit idly by, passively watching us lose everything that is sacred to us. This juncture in our history should be a turning point for our nation, a wake-up call, a moment of truth and clarity. The veils of all the lies and the masks have been finally removed. We must seize this opportunity and lead our nation forward without division, but as a single voice. Let us together set a path of victory, turn defeat into victory. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, dear speakers. It was amazing. Now I would like to invite our Federal Deputy of New Democratic Party, Monsieur Boulogne. Merci.